a little bit more to it. So compound sentences are made up of two independent clauses. Our example, once more, my brother plays baseball, but I play basketball. So here's our two independent clauses. My brother, subject, plays, verb. And then in our second independent clause, but I, subject, play, verb, basketball. So that is our compound sentence. And both our simple and compound sentences are the first two of the four main sentence styles in English. And today we're going to be going over the third, which once more is complex sentences. So jumping back over to the lesson. All right, I want to check to make sure, okay, we are good with the comments and questions. So here we go, complex sentences. So let's first look at our clauses and how we can finish these sentences. And you'll see what I mean by the fact that these are not complete sentences because they're not complete ideas. There's still more that we need to know. First example, when I get together with my friends, well, tell me more. When you get together with your friends, what happens or what do you do? That's not a sentence because it's not a complete idea. There's still more that I need to know in order for the sentence to be finished or really to make sense. So hold on, we'll be looking at how we would complete these sentences and complete them in the complex sentence form. Second, although my job is difficult, okay, give me more. I need more information for that to be a complete or total idea. In a like way, because I don't have any money, we need more information. There has to be more information in order for those sentences to make sense, for them once more to be a complete or total idea. Hang on, that's what we're getting to with complex sentences. So, in review, on their own, these ideas, they're incomplete. We need more information for it to make sense. And these are called dependent clauses, right? So when I get together with my friends, although my job is difficult, because I don't have any money, it doesn't make sense. These are dependent clauses. Now, what's a dependent clause, you might ask? A dependent clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb, but unlike our simple sentence, it's not a complete idea. Even though it has the subject and the verb, it's not a sentence because it doesn't give us in total a complete or full idea. So dependent clauses, they need an independent clause in order to be complete. So perhaps a helpful way to remember that is to be dependent means that basically you need something else or you need someone else. You're depending, okay? Someone, something is depending on something else. And that's exactly what we mean with these sentences and with the dependent clauses. They depend on an independent clause to make a full idea. And if that's not totally clear right now, stay with us. We'll explain more and hopefully it'll become more clear as we continue on with the lesson. But jumping over, so again, complex sentences, it's made up of one dependent clause, okay? But that dependent clause cannot be just by itself. It depends, it leans on the independent clause to make it a full and complete idea. So A dependent clause, once more, is a group of words. It has the subject, it has the verb, but unlike a simple sentence, it's not a complete idea. As we were looking at our examples, these are all unfinished ideas. When I get together with my friends, well, what happens? Or what do you do? That thought has to be continued. It has to be finished. Right? Give me one moment. I'm going to look over at our comments. Great. Oh, Rosa asked, can I put it a little bit bigger on the screen? Yes, let me. There we go, Miss Rosa. I hope that's a little bit more helpful. You know, and in the interest of everyone, let me just, there we go. Once more, just real quick, now that it is a little bigger, and let me see if I can even, there we go. How's that, Rosa? Is that better? I hope so. Great. So again, simple sentence. And if you're taking notes, this is what you want to take notes on. And once more, what's nice is we're in live time now, but you can go back, of course, and watch these videos as many times as you would like. And I'm willing to bet, so that just means I think, that probably each time you watch a video again, whether it's my video or Mr. Sean's video or Neil or Joshua, any of the wonderful smart live teachers we have, every time you watch a video, even if you've seen it before, you'll see something new, or we would say you will catch something new. So if you're taking notes, this is what we need to know. Simple sentence, one independent clause. Must have a subject, verb, complete idea. My brother plays baseball. Compound sentence, made up of two independent clauses. My brother plays baseball, but I play basketball. Going down today's lesson with our complex sentences, it's made up of one independent clause, so that's our main idea, and one or more dependent clause or clauses. So a dependent clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb, but it's not a complete idea, right? So once more, we're going quickly, perhaps to take notes in real time. That's why it's nice that you can go back and look at the videos again. All right. So dependent clauses need an independent clause in order to be complete. So literally, truly, it just means that they depend on, they have to be with an independent clause in order for it to be a complete or total idea. Now, here's some very common words that will start a dependent clause. So most times when you see these words or these group of words, that gives you an idea that you're starting a dependent clause. Our words when, while, before, as soon as, after, until, since, because, although, and if. So again, those are common words that start a dependent clause. So going down in total, once more. So what's a complex sentence? Complex sentences are made up of one independent clause, and that's our main clause, and one or more dependent clauses. So here we go. Now these sentences make sense because they've continued on and they've created a full or complete idea. So we had these before, now we've finished these sentences, complex sentences. When I get together with my friends, we have a lot of fun. Great! As I asked before, when I get together with my friends, well, what happens or what do you do? I need more information in order for that to be a full sentence and make sense. Here we go. This is with our complex sentences. When I get together with my friends, we have a lot of fun. And I hope that's true with all of us here. All of us here with the Smart Live class. When I get together with my friends and my wonderful students, we all have a lot of fun. I hope you're not just learning, I hope you're having fun and that you're enjoying it as well. And with that, I see some of our friends signing on. Hello, Baharat. So glad to have you with us again. Excellent, wonderful. Natish, Noor, Rosa, Leo, so glad to have you guys. All right, our second example. Although my job is difficult, tell me more. Although your job is difficult, what? Although my job is difficult, I enjoy it very much. So, although I have to wake up very early on Tuesday mornings, I love coming and having class with you. Third one, because I didn't have any money, well, what happened? What was the effect of you not having any money? Finish the idea. Here we go. Because I didn't have any money, I could not go to the movie. Right? So as we looked at in our first part of our lesson, we only had the beginning parts of these sentences, and they didn't make sense. We needed more information. Here we have more information with our complex sentences, and it finishes or it completes the full or main idea. So continuing on. So in Grammar 7.3, we're going to go over time clauses, and complex sentences talk about the future. So this grammar 7.3, we'll be going over next week. So I hope you can join us for that. And again, we'll be studying next week our time clauses and complex sentences in order that we can talk about the future or what is going to happen, right? Future is going to happen. Past has already happened. Present is right now, right? So complex sentences, they can show more than just time. Let's look at our examples. When I get together with my friends, we have a lot of fun. Now that does show time, shows what happens in the time that friends are together. What happens during that time? They have a lot of fun. But it's not only time. Complex sentences are not only about time. It can also show contrast. So how one thing is different than something else, or how two things do not fit together. Contrast. Compare and contrast. Compare is how things are alike. Contrast is how things are different. With our second example, we see that. Although my job is difficult, I enjoy it very much. So it shows the contrast. Job's hard, but even though it's hard, enjoy it very much. And then our third one, complex sentences can show us a reason. Or we might also say a cause and effect. This happened, so this happened. We would say that's reason. Because I didn't have any money, I could not go to the movie. Once more, that shows us reason, that shows us a cause and effect. I didn't have any money, okay? That's the cause. And then the effect, because of that, I could not go to the movies. Because I didn't have any money, I could not go to the movies. That completes a full thought, right? So once more, complex sentences don't always just talk about time. With our examples here, we have time, we have contrast, and we have reason. And we'll be going over complex sentences and time clauses, and that'll be next week in our grammar. So I hope that you will be able to join us again 1 week from now, same time, which again is 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, even though I know, as always, it's good morning, afternoon, good evening, or even nighttime, wherever you are at. Okay, so moving right along. And again, I know there's a lot of information with this. So once more, that's why it's so nice that you can go back and rewatch these videos as many times as you would like. So sentence order, how we put it together, or the structure of it. In a complex sentence, we can choose. We have a choice. We can choose the order of our clauses. Here's what we need to know, though. If we start a sentence with an independent clause, so part of it that can stand alone, if we start it with an independent clause and then a dependent clause, we don't need a comma. Don't need a comma. Start independent and then dependent clause. But if we start with a dependent clause, so if the dependent clause comes before the independent clause, then we must put a comma after the dependent clause. Let's look at our example. And notice that both of these sentences say the exact same thing, get the exact same point or idea across. They just say it a little bit differently. So our first one, we're starting with the independent clause and then finishing with our dependent clause, so we do not need a comma. I will need to find a job after I graduate. It's true. And that's why we go to school, right? Back to the more we know, the more we can say, the more we can communicate, and the more opportunities we have. So I will need to find a job after I graduate. In the same way, saying the exact same thing, we're just saying it almost in reverse, or we're saying it in a different way, the same idea. In the second sentence, we're starting with a dependent clause, and then we have the independent clause, so we do need that comma. After I graduate, I will need to find a job. So you see how both of those sentences say the exact same thing? It's the exact same idea. Graduate, get a job. I will need to find a job after I graduate. Don't need a comma. Do not need a comma because we started with our independent clause. Second sentence, after I graduate, comma, I will need to find a job. And we have that comma because in our second example, we started with our dependent clause. Right? So again, I know there's a lot of information with that. And once more, I'll just do a quick review again. And as always, go back, watch the video, pick up anything that maybe you didn't get the first time, take those notes. And again, jumping back to our class notes, this is, there we go. This is what you need to make sure that you understand, that there's 4 main types of sentences. Today, we cover the third type. Our first type, again, is a simple sentence. One independent clause, and it's got to have a subject, who or what I'm talking about. It's got to have a verb, what is the action, and this is most important, it has to be a complete idea, right? Like our first examples with the complex sentences, when you and your friends get together, what do? Or how? Give me more. That's not a complete idea. That leaves me needing more information. Okay? So with a simple sentence, the way that's different is that it does complete a full thought. In simple sentences, they're short, to the point. My brother plays baseball. There's our example of a simple sentence. Compound sentence it's made up of two independent clauses. My brother plays baseball, but I play basketball. So my brother plays baseball could be a simple sentence. I play basketball, that's another simple sentence. I, subject, play, verb, basketball, completes a full idea. But when I put those two independent clauses together, my brother plays baseball, but I play basketball. So that's for our compound sentences. And then again, today, going over complex, which is our third type of sentence in English. A complex sentence is made up of one dependent clause, so that's our main idea, and one or more dependent clause or clauses. And then please note, make sure you understand that a dependent clause is a group of words, and like a simple sentence, it has a subject, it has a verb, but it is not, and I highlighted not, but it is not a complete idea. It cannot stand on its own. It doesn't make sense by itself because it does not finish or complete that full idea. Right? So that's complex sentences. Give me one moment. I'm going to look over at our great, excellent, great comments, great observations, guys. Wonderful. Okay, and again, please know, I do apologize that I'm not always able to get to the comments or the questions. And again, that's just because we have so many people on our live feed, which is so exciting. It makes my heart happy to see all of our friends on our live feed as we're going through the lesson. But because of that, sometimes the live feed and comments go so fast that I'm looking at our lesson and I'm not able to look over and get to all the comments and questions. So my apologies. Please, if after the video has posted, if you have any comments or you have any questions, please post those at the bottom of the video, and I will certainly do my best to get to all of your questions. So once more, if I'm not able to get to your comments or questions during the live feed, or if afterwards you think of a question that you would like me to answer and go over, please feel free. Scroll down to the bottom of the video and post your comment or your question in the comment section. And while you're there, if you have enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. That makes my heart happy as well to see. All right, great.